I'm going to have a conversation with you about Carlz J Soda. Many of you sent me information about her and asked me if I was going to respond or talk about the things that she raised, which I am going to do. I don't know if I'm going to be saying the things that some of you expected that I would say, but I do think it's all really, really important.
For context, I'm a sole trader, I work in the creative industry, and I'm single and I live in regional Victoria. All four of those reasons made me ineligible for any support, yet I am the one who has been most impacted. The creative industry has been utterly crushed. We're not allowed to work because we're not essential. So apparently my needing to feed myself is not essential, nor is me being able to pay for the roof over my head.
Carlz is obviously a small business owner and she's frustrated about the fifth lockdown. Here, she's just talked about the reasons that she is ineligible for support. And good, because I want to talk about them too. And I will not ignore this, because I don't like her stupid opinions, which we'll get into in a minute on coronavirus. Any more than I would not ignore her coronavirus denialism just because I feel sorry for her financial situation. Every single person, and as we've said, that's millions of people, who watched that video clearly resonated with it, not because they just feel sorry for her, but because they resonate with the cry of frustration over lockdowns in that video. And no, they are not all anti-vaxxers and baddies and people that you can just sweep aside. The danger here is that she can create more people like anti-vaxxers and anti-lockdown people. But the sympathy is based around the very real plight that a lot of people are facing through lockdowns. And there's a claim here she's making. She has a two-part claim. And here's the rub, here's the difficulty with this video, and I suppose a latent danger in it, because I agree with the first half, and then we really part ways in the second half. The first half of the claim is this, that lockdowns suck, and the government's handling of the coronavirus response is atrocious. And I am there with you on that, but there's a second half to the claim, and there's my second half, and then there's Carlz's stated one. Take it away, Carlz.
This is lockdown 5 in a so-called pandemic when no one is in ICU. No one is actually sick.
Lockdowns suck, and the government's handling of the coronavirus response is atrocious. And all of this is happening over a virus that's basically no more dangerous than a flu. Versus, lockdowns suck, and the government's handling of the coronavirus response is atrocious, and we're not being supported through it by the government. And these are two very different claims.
Well, I'm sorry, it's not the fucking greater good. My life is just as relevant as someone who's immune compromised or someone who's older. If this is truly about lives, then every life is of the same value. Why is it some lives are more important than others? Because I'm a 35-year-old woman, my life isn't important?
I've been told a lot about this woman, and it ain't just that she's an anti-lockdown, anti-vax type fundamentally, and that's what's driving her to make videos like this. I've also been told, and I don't know her life, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've been told that she's got one functioning lung due to previous health complications. And if that's the case, mate, you're fucking fucked if you get the coronavirus. Don't put yourself in this young and healthy shit because that makes you feel good about yourself, or because you do a bit of fucking CrossFit here and there. Mate, if you, with one functioning lung, get coronavirus, you'll be shitting your fucking lung out of your ass by the time the fucking pandemic's done.
At what point will anyone in any of these governments finally realize the people you are paid to represent have had enough? You who live in these friggin' bubbles where your income hasn't dropped, you're fine. You guys are earning your 6 figures. As a matter of fact, most Victorian politicians have got a pay rise. For you, life is normal.
And here, I totally fucking agree.
I have paid tax my whole fucking life. And right now, my own country is not supporting me.
Sorry, Carlz, I'll stop you here. Actually, your individual tax returns aren't paid into a coffer to be returned to you later in the form of services. That's not actually how it works. They're used to balance the value of money. And all money is a form of debt, actually, to be paid back to the government. And the government can fund its own spending on you, or all of us, Carlz, simply by printing more money. No, Tom, money doesn't grow on trees, Tom. That's not how it works, you lefty wacko. Actually, it's literally true. Last year, the government printed truckloads of new money in order to fund its coronavirus emergency response. That's what happened. They regulate that excess accumulation of money that happens when you're fountain out more money by printing it up like they did last year, by asking for some of it back in the form of tax. Well, they should ask for it back for where most of that excess of money gets accumulated, Carlz. And it ain't with me, because my bank account balance isn't looking very fucking good right now. Who is it that's accumulating all the excess of money? I'm sure you can imagine, but let's get back to that in a moment.
Look at Dan Andrews. He's such a man, isn't he? Look at him doing the right thing, locking us down because this virus is so fucking terrible. Yet meanwhile, no one who's infected with COVID right now is in ICU. No one is actually truly sick. They're probably asymptomatic. As a matter of fact, this Delta variant is so terrible, most people don't even know they fucking have it.
This specifically is my shut the fuck up moment. If you need help, Carlz, or anyone, which like many others this past year or two, you probably fucking do, fucking ask for it. Instead of, throwing the global crisis we're all in under the fucking bus because you got pilled by a gaggle of conspiracy theorist boomer dead shits in your local Facebook buy, swap and sell group.
I've robbed my retirement fund to be able to survive right now, and I've had no opportunity to even just get a little bit ahead, to even recover. I'm so far backwards that once this pandemic finally ends, I'll never make up for it.
I appreciate the people that sent me information and stuff through about Carlz. I do. I appreciate the thought. But I've seen people online, some people with some really big profiles, posting shit about how, she used her 10k super payout from last year to start a small business. She's a grifter. That's illegal. That's not what that's for. Fucking take a look at yourself, mate. She took some of that money out that the government was allowing people to take out last year to start up a small business. Fucking good on her. Good on anyone. Get your fucking bank. I fucking drank half of mine, to be honest, because I'm a fucking moron, and now I'm half fucking destitute like the rest of us. I don't care if this cunt is a grifter or not, mate. The reason her video got so popular is because people will resonate with, again, the first half of that claim. That's what we're supposed to be reckoning with here. As if I need to be told that this fucking person is a grifter. All I do is look at these fucking cunts all day. I know they're all grifters. That's how they all work. They do their little superstar fucking viral video. Then they harvest a big GoFundMe and everyone goes back to sleep in their world. Shock fucking horror, mate. And yeah, on that GoFundMe, I know she ended up having a big old GoFundMe. Someone else started it. It got 60 grand plus. Now they've started up another one. This is why these people aren't a political force, Like I said in my last article I wrote that they're a latent political force. This is why they stay latent. Because they stay asleep. They're a force of like mass reproducing inertia. They get halfway, remember the first half of the claim, towards identifying the problem with lockdowns, and then they go, oh, wow, here's a talking head in a video, and she's got a little bit of dew in her eyes because she's talking about how hard it is to run a small business. Where's the GoFundMe? Oh, I better put in $50. Okay, I fixed that problem as represented through that representative talking fucking head. Better find the next talking head to fucking live my politics through. It's fucking sad. And the reason it's really sad is because these people end up just as dumb and confused about what the fuck the actual real tangible problem or solution here as Carlz is. Mate, the problem is that they're not taking care of us.
And this is the thing, right? The longer these lockdowns go on, the less money this government has, because there are no more taxpayers to keep filling up the government coffers. So every time you justify these lockdowns by saying it's better than people dying, how dare you be selfish worrying about the economy? There is no first-class health system without a healthy economy. How do you think fucking Medicare gets paid for? Taxpayer money.
No, stop. Wrong. Stop. Fucking dead fucking wrong. Honestly, with all the love and respect in the world, fuck your small business and fuck your little tax contributions. They don't mean shit here. They don't mean shit in the grand scheme of things. The government paid a raft, which was woefully inadequate as it was, of about $300 billion to do JobKeeper and increase JobSeeker last year. They weren't fucking enough at all, nowhere near broad enough, but they did them. What I'm saying is that they need to do them again. They need to broadly increase eligibility for JobKeeper to include casuals of less periods of time and what have you, and they need to make JobSeeker easier to apply for and return it to its previous levels. They need to do that now, and they need to do so at least until the end of the pandemic. And in the case of JobSeeker, they need to just keep that level up on an ongoing basis. And I know you've been taught all your life to ask the question, but who's going to pay for it? Your tax is not the fucking be-all and end-all. But if you want answers to that question, well, if Australia began to seek out substantial corporate tax from its top 100 corporate tax evaders, most of whom pay not a fucking cent in tax, they would have easily most, if not all, of the money that would be required not just to see Carlz J Soda with their superstar GoFundMe through the rest of the pandemic with her little small business intact, but fucking everyone in the country through the pandemic so they could stay at home without going fucking broke and destitute. What I am here to say to you is that if you have the energy and the political will to donate to this cunt's GoFundMe, and if you really think that raising awareness for this one talking head in a fucking video is affecting political change, then I would ask you to take it a step further and to raise awareness for something that would not just feed Carlz J Soda, but something that would feed us all. Shit that the government can afford, regardless of what they tell you. And I know, again, you don't hear this shit on Sky News, where I didn't fail to notice that Carlz was a guest on the other night, talking about how hard life is for Victorians. And the reason you'll never hear this is because it's Sky News' job to protect big capital. So that's why you'll always hear Sky News doing things like supporting talking heads like this, instead of having discussions about real things like a systemic government welfare response. They'll never do that. No, they want you to stay worshipping portrait video filming fucking viral superstars like her, staying useless as tits on a bull. So don't do that, mate. You can ask for more. What I'm saying to you is do something useful for once. Go on social media and demand, if raising awareness is that important to you, go on and demand that the government return JobKeeper, increase JobSeeker again, leave them in place, not make them contingent on having to beg for scraps or for casuals having worked for a small business for 12 months. If you want to see small businesses stay successful or at least not die out one by one during the pandemic, then ask the government to take care of it, because they can foot that bill. And go and find your local, state and federal political representative online and email or phone them to tell them that this is what you as a constituent want, because they can pay for it and you do deserve that. And that's it. That's all I've got to say about individual fucking people, whether they be grifters or not, like Carlz. You know, these people will come and go. They will continue to do so. But the reason that they're getting so popular is not because they're so artful at chucking a silk and because it's genuinely appealing to chuck useless money into GoFundMes for one person. You know, I don't care if they're grifters or not. The reason that they're getting so popular is because people are fucking frustrated with lockdowns. But they would probably be lot less frustrated if they were able to be taken care of by the government like they were doing to a degree last year. We need to go back to that and then some.